Here.
Got a lovely place. Really. Yeah, once. Have a good time, Jimmy Lee. Thank you. You look good. So, you've decided to stay.
I am the victim of my fiancé's wishes.
You feeling better, Celia?
Much better, thank you. Yes, a plate full of those delicious hors d'oeuvres set me just right. You know, I think that the whole problem was that I didn't eat anything today.
Starvation can definitely upset the system, and if you... Speaking of starvation, I'm going to check out what's left on the table. I'm a little on the hungry side. Excuse me.
Can I get anything for you?
No. Yes.
My, you are having trouble making up your mind tonight, aren't you?
Well, not about something.
Oh, name one.
Champagne, would you mind getting me some?
Not at all. It's a pleasure to feel wanted for a change. One glass of champagne, please. Of course.
Well, you've met, yes, we've met.
How you doing?
Hello again, Mr. Holt.
How are you? How's it going?
Yeah, it's fine. Fashionably late, I see.
Well, not on purpose.
Oh, yes, I don't believe that for 1 minute. I know an experienced party-goer when I see one.
Well, maybe you do, but my tastes run more at cake parties rather than champagne socials.
Well, whatever works.
Well, we have plenty of champagne and beer. Would you excuse me just for a moment? I'd like to say goodbye to the mayor and his wife.
Yes, take your time. I'm sure I can entertain your guest.
Go on, darling. Mayor and his wife will leave.
Well, listen, I better be going. I gotta make the rounds, you know. I can't stay very long.
No, don't go.
Why? What do you gotta say to a waiter? Or don't you recognize me out of uniform?
Well, hello, Jimmy Lee. Didn't think you were going to make it tonight.
Well, I did. Almost didn't, though.
Would you excuse us for a second?
What?
I want to introduce you to the mayor.
Oh, but...
Oh, you'll like it. He's not at all stuffy. Talk to you later, Jimmy Lee.
One of them. Listen, excuse me, but I really should be going.
But you just got here.
Just making an appearance, huh?
Well, I wasn't going to, but, you know, I've been tired, working hard, and, I didn't want to seem ungrateful, though.
Well, we understand.
Okay, thank you, and, good night.
Some other time.
Okay.
You must come again when you can stay longer.
Yes, it was a pleasure to meet you, Your Honor.
For me as well, Dr. Putnam, and we are certainly going to be seeing more of you and your lovely fiancé.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night now.
I think we'd better be going too, Grant.
But I thought...
Well, no, the party's breaking up, and one should never be the first to arrive or the last to leave. It's bad manners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, forgive me, darling. You know, I really don't mean to be contrary. It's just that I'm frightfully tired. But I did have a wonderful time tonight. The party was lovely. And I do hope we can see a lot more of these people, don't you?
Yes.
Holly, good night.
Night, love. What are you doing?
I'm clearing up.
Look, I've got somebody coming in to do that in the morning. Please sit down.
Okay, so...
Right.
It was fun, wasn't it?
And very successful.
I think so.
Yeah, well, hey, you were responsible for that.
I didn't do anything. I just enjoyed myself.
Well, that's the secret of having fun. Look, if everybody sees that you're having fun, they just want to join in.
When in Rome...
Somebody once said that. You're some hostess.
Well, I had a little practice. A long, long time ago. Seems like a million years.
I was very proud of you tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, well... Guess it's time for bed. Crime doesn't go on a holiday just because the police commissioner doesn't want to come in the morning. Careful, careful, careful.
How do you make the room move like that?
Is that a riddle? Let me think. Give it a lot to drink.
Oh.
You know, seriously, I never thought this sort of thing could be so much fun.
Well, surprise, surprise.
No, I mean it. I mean, I always looked upon it as a bit of an obligation, a kind of a necessary evil.
Oh, what a sacrifice you poor public officials have to make. Going to parties.
Yeah.
Rescuing. And rescuing women in the staircase.
Yeah, steady as she goes there. How much have you had to drink?
One too many.
Only one.
Well, after the first one, I sort of lost count.
You know, it occurs to me. I really would like to see you tipsy.
Well, look very closely.
No. I mean really loose.
This is it. After this, I pass out.
That sounds interesting.
No, it's very boring, actually. I just go to sleep. Which is exactly what I intend to do for the next 24 hours. Good night.
I'd like to thank you for a wonderful evening.
Thank you for having me. Yes,
Is this the Scorpio residence?
it is.
I'd like to see Robert.
He's not here, Miss.
Just tell Robbie that Connie is here. He'll see me. Are you the secretary, dear?
No, I'm not. And as I said before, he's not here.
I see. Well, you're not the maid, are you?
Hardly.
Just a friend, is that it, dear?
No, that's not it. I happen to be his wife.
Where are you going?
Now, you've defied me, and I'm here to stop you.
What are you talking about?
You know damn well what I'm talking about. You started demolition of Ruby Anderson's old apartment building this morning, and I'm telling you to stop as of right now. Now, there will be no further destruction until your mob connections are totally severed. Get on the phone and order the work stopped.
Make me.
Robbie is married. To you.
Yes.
Well, then, for what it's worth, I apologize. I didn't mean to barge in like that before. It's just that I know Robbie's habits.
You do?
Oh, very well. He had a desk job at one time. He was a fanatic about keeping himself insulated. The same as when he was an agent in the field. No one could get through to him.
Apparently you knew Robert when he was with the World Security Bureau.
I did.
I don't believe I know your last name.
Townley. But Connie will do. Will you please have Robbie call me?
How does he do that?
Tell him that I'm just passing through town, and I'm staying at the Harbor Towers.
May I also tell him if this is business or pleasure?
Both. Naturally, I want to see Robbie for old time's sake.
Naturally.
Oh, and will you also tell him it is very important that I talk to him as soon as possible?
I always make sure Robert gets all of his messages.
Good Lord, I can't believe that Robbie is married. I'm sorry, but it's the last thing on earth I expected to hear.
It's quite true.
Then I wish you all the best. Oh, and ask him to call me as soon as possible.
Now, have I made myself clear? Watch my lips. The demolition will stop now.
All right, if you're through spouting off, Commissioner, I want you to understand something. A, legal building permits were obtained from the city building department to destroy that building. B, legitimate bids were given and taken and accepted, all right? And C, there are jobs and there are men working at those jobs and they're being paid under a contract.
A, B, C, and D. You still control the work. You can order it stopped.
Why? What for? You're just going to create a hazardous situation down there. The building is half destroyed. It's going to be dangerous down there.
Then you just build a nice little plywood fence around it. Suitably signposted, of course. Then you and your pal Han can sit in there and play jacks with the rubber.
You must be dreaming, Scorpio. I'm not breaking any laws. In fact, I am working within the law here, all right? or do you doubt that these are legal permits?
Legal or not, I'll have you shut down by noon.
Yeah, how you gonna do that?
I'll go straight from here to the mayor. Any current permits you've got, I'll have them revoked. Any new ones you've applied for, I'll have them denied. Have a good day.
Come in, Robert.
Thank you, Bob.
Please,
How do you
sit down.
spare the time?
Well, I was anxious to. I've been reading the transcripts of the Susan Baldwin murder case, of course, in the newspapers as well. I was really eager to get your summary of it.
Well, what you've read is accurate. Crane Tolliver and Susan Baldwin cooked up some sort of extortion plot against the Quartermains.
For what reason?
Reasons unknown. For some reason that there was a falling out between the two of them. Crane shot Susan before the actual trump card was revealed to the Quartermains.
Well, and that wraps it up?
As far as the police department's concerned, the case is closed.
Well, that's fine with me, if it's fine with you. Now, what can I do for you? I know you well enough to know this isn't a social visit.
Yeah. It's about the waterfront redevelopment project. Now, as you know, Scott Baldwin is deeply involved in it.
I was aware of that.
Are you also aware of the fact that there is a strong connection between Scott Baldwin and Anthony Hand?
Are you sure of that? Anthony Hand is an out-and-out mobster.
I've seen proof that Scotty and Hand are running the redevelopment project themselves, or at least fronting mob money behind it.
Well, when you say proof?
Contracts linking them financially.
I've always felt that Hand was reporting to someone higher up in the criminal hierarchy.
You should also be aware that when the development project becomes operational, money from the concessions will flow directly to Hand and the people he works for.
Well, now, that could mean that the mob is behind the actual construction of the development.
Right. Now, they're also behind the current demolition that's going on.
When I agreed to the demolition of the sports center, it was with the express stipulation that a new one be erected.
Oh, which it will, but again, it'll have mob backing.
We can't allow that.
I agree, and that's precisely the reason I'm here. Step by step, they're operating with city permits, including the one that you approved of for the current demolition.
Permits can be revoked, Robert.
You willing to do that?
Well, in light of what you said, I'm not only willing, I insist on it.
Including the permit for the demolition going on right now?
Well, certainly, if we're going to stop this thing, we have to nip it in the bud right now, and that includes the entire operation.
Do you want proof of the connection between Baldwin and the criminal element involved?
Oh, not as long as you tell me it exists. Robert, I don't mind saying that's exactly why I was so eager for you to become police commissioner, to ferret out these skeletons in the closet like you've done in this matter. I'm really grateful to you.
Just trying to do the job.
Well, you're doing the job very good. Now, I suggest you and I go right down to the building department. We're going to shut Baldwin down as of now. We won't allow any other permits to be issued for any work until you can assure me that Baldwin and his connection with the mobsters is finished once and for all.
Hi, love. Just came from Mayor Everett's office. He's promised to do everything he can to help me shut down Scotty.
Good.
When the man decides to act, he doesn't fool about. Any messages?
Captain Ramsey called to say he's on his way to his appointment with you.
Fine.
And Connie was here.
Who?
Just tell Robbie Connie was here. End quote.
Connie. Connie. You can't mean Connie Townley.
She's at the Harbour Towers.
Are you sure you got the name right here? Constance Townley is in Port Charles.
Very much so. You're to call her at the Harbour Towers.
I'm amazed.
So was she when she found out you were married.
Oh, yeah, she would be.
Actually, I would say stunned was probably a better word for her reaction.
Well, I can explain that.
Don't. Please, there's no need.
Look, but Connie and I just simply worked together.
Right, for the WSB.
Yeah, naturally, of course, we became close friends.
Yes, naturally.
Why are you smiling like that?
Oh, was I smiling? I didn't notice. You're doing something that I've never seen you do before.
What?
You're blushing.
That is ridiculous. I have never blushed in my life, and why would I start blushing now?
I have no idea. But your red face is very becoming.
Look, Holly, I want to explain here
Don't.
about... What do you mean, don't? I mean, it's nothing dire.
What I mean is, our marriage is in name only. That arrangement eliminates the need to explain anyone.
hello, Holly. Nice to see you.
Come on in, Robert. Just got here.
Commissioner, how are you?
Hiya, Bert.
I'm sorry to bother you like this, but I really want to wrap up a final report on the Susan Baldwin case.
Oh, it's fine. As a matter of fact, I spoke to the mayor today, and he read the preliminary report, and I told him we were closing the case.
Good.
Shall I get that?
Yeah, please.
Now, look, I've made some notes, and if you'll look them over with me, if you're okay, then I guess that'll wrap the whole thing up.
Sounds good.
Hello?
Rather simple.
Just one moment, please.
On this point here, now...
But if you just take it from the way I...
Excuse me?
Yeah.
The phone. It's for you, Robbie.
I have someone here, Connie.
I know. I met her. She's a knockout.
I meant the captain of the Port Charles Police Department.
I might have known you'd be involved with the police.
I am involved. Quite heavily, in fact.
Really? All the more reason that I must see you, Robbie. How soon?
Oh, let me think.
Don't think. Just name a time and place. It's very important.
All right. There's a restaurant called Dino's. It's quite near you. Now, I'll meet you there in an hour.
Dino's in an hour. Got it.
We can talk business there, all right?
Talk business? Oh, yes, of course. Among other things. Don't be late.
1 hour. I'm sorry, that was business.
Really?
Well, now, if we can go over these notes, you'll see that there aren't many unresolved areas.
Right.
Would you excuse me? I'll be in the kitchen.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure. Now, I can anticipate one of the unresolved areas of yours here, Bert. I spoke to the mayor this morning, and he asked me if we knew why Crane and Susan were blackmailing the Quartermains.
Well, we don't even mention that in our report, and for a very obvious reason. We just don't know.
Precisely. Now, that's exactly what I told him. No one knew why the Quartermains were the victims of an attempted extortion, and as far as we're concerned, we may never know.
It's not pertinent, is that it?
Well, it's not pertinent to closing the books in this particular case. As far as the police department is concerned, the case is over.
But, Robert, what if some reporter brings up those papers?
That won't happen, because no one knows they exist.
Yeah, but we do.
Unofficially, but officially, they don't exist. So let's just forget about them. Agreed?
All right, all right. If somebody doesn't bring it up in the future.
If and when that happens, it's the Quartermain's problem, not ours.
Oh, so our stand is it's their problem, let them handle it.
As long as there's no crime involved, I think that's appropriate.
Okay. Look, you haven't had time to look these over, but if you'll take my word for it, believe me, it's everything we've discussed.
Sure.
Okay? Okay. Fine, I'll be on my way. Thanks a lot for your time. Sorry to bother you.
Well, thanks for dropping by.
Oh, pleasure. I must say, Holly looks lovely.
I'll tell her that.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye now. Holly.
Ramsey left?
Yes, just a second ago. Look, I have to leave too.
I heard.
Heard what?
You on the phone. Dino's, wasn't it?
Well, I'll try not to be very long.
Robert, would you please try to get something straight? You don't have to explain your activities to me, and you certainly don't have to rush through a meeting with an old friend.
But look,
And you don't have to pretend that it's business.
it is business.
It really doesn't matter.
Look, it does matter. And you're right about Connie. We are friends, but simply because we work together.
Good.
And this is business all the same.
Really?
Really. And Connie is still with the World Security Bureau. As a matter of fact, she's one of their finest agents. Now, I could swear that you are a person I once knew. I think it was TR-733.
And you look vaguely like someone I used to know. CK8.
Small world.
Nice world.
You look better than ever.
No, before you sit down,
Yeah?
don't I get kissed for old time's sake? Discreetly, of course, considering you are a married man.
Discreet enough?
Positively Victorian.
I couldn't believe it when I heard that you were in town.
You couldn't believe it. Now, how do you think I felt when I was told that you were married? You, of all the people.
Yeah, well, it's a long story.
Hmm.
What are you doing here in Port Charles?
Oh, just passing through.
Come on, partner. I know you better than that.
Partner. How many times have we called each other that? And you're right, of course. I do have some business to take care of, too.
I'd have bet on it. Come on, now, what's going down?
I can't stop staring at you. You haven't changed a bit. You know, I almost forgot how handsome you are.
There was a time in Hong Kong. It was one night. You swore you'd never forget.
I haven't. And it was in Venice. In a very shaky gondola on the Grand Canal.
I remember a night in Cairo you had this fetish for looking at the pyramids under moonlight.
That was India, dear. And it wasn't the pyramids, it was the Taj Mahal.
We've had some great times, love.
And some rough ones. I was in Paris when I learned about O'Reilly. I'm sorry, you must have been absolutely devastated.
Yeah, I was. I lost the 3 people in this world that I cared for the most. O'Reilly, pal of mine called Luke Spencer, his wife, Laura.
Don't you love your own wife? Never mind. I don't think I want to hear the answer to that one. Hey, you haven't lost me, you know. Never will.
There was a time in Istanbul. I came close. You almost boarded from the KGB.
But we outsmarted them.
Yeah.
Connie Atkin and her friend.
Was that the name you used on that assignment?
Lord, how quickly they forget. I was Connie Atkin, and you were Robert Skinner.
It's been fun, hasn't it?
It's been a ball. Remember Marrakesh?
Oh, vividly. And Capri.
And Osaka.
Amsterdam.
Rio and Munich.
It rained.
Not on us, it didn't.
No. Never on us. What are you doing here?
You could always do that, couldn't you? Bring me down to earth at exactly the wrong moment.
There was a time when I could also bring you right back up again, too.
What makes you think that you can't now? Why, I'm here. I understand that you've got some great equipment.
You always could flatter me.
I'm talking about your computer. I understand it's tied in with the WSB, isn't it?
You know it is.
I may want to use it.
Feed information or search?
Both. Chiefly, I'll be feeding it what I learn.
Here in Port Charles. You never tell me about it.
Not just yet.
But you are conducting some sort of investigation.
Yeah, I am. But at this point, we're not certain what we're investigating. I'm sorry, but I can't be more explicit.
Well, it's quite all right. I'm up to here as a police commissioner in this borough.
But I can call you.
You know you can. Anytime. I run a 24-hour service.
I remember. Robbie, I'm sorry, but I have just got to say it. Do you mind?
Have I ever? Say it.
You are the last person on Earth that I ever would have expected to be married.
Me too.
That was fast.
Well, she's going to be around here for a while. I might see her again.
Only might?
Holly, I think I had better explain about Connie and myself.
There's no need to. It's obvious the two of you had something going.
That's what I'd like to talk about.
Robert, I do expect you to see other women just like you did before we were married.
That wouldn't disturb you.
Of course not.
Be sure about this, Holly. It's very important. Suppose I decided to spend the night away from here.
So?
I'd be discreet, of course, and I promise I'd do nothing to embarrass you.
I know that.
you'd have no objection.
Robert, none. Thank you for being considerate, but I assure you that your private life is your own.
You're really terrific, you know that?
Well, I know I'm fair. At least I try to be. Excuse me.
Yes, I'd like to leave a message for Miss Constance Townley. Tell her that... Tell her Robert Skinner would very much enjoy seeing her again. As soon as possible.
There's something deliciously wicked about having a martini for lunch.
Feeling better?
Much. Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me pop in like this on you.
I'm glad for the company. Robert's been at headquarters all morning.
Oh, so that's why the club soda. You want to be on your best behavior in case he comes home and wants to be bad.
Oh, Celia!
Well, you are still newlyweds, and he is quite a sexy man.
Have some salad.
You've gotten quite good at this.
There's not much to make him proud.
No, you've gotten quite good at changing the subject. Now tell me, just what is this marriage of yours all about?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, this is Celia you're talking with, dear friend. I've seen you in love before. Your eyes get rounder and your cheeks get bloomier and you walk with your feet a couple of inches above the ground. Ah, they're firmly planted.
Robert's very dear to me.
But he isn't Luke Spencer.
How do you know about Luke?
How could I not? Seems that he's some sort of local hero. I'm sorry, Holly. I heard about the accident. It must have been dreadful for you.
I loved Luke very much.
Tell me about him.
I met him last year. Celia, I wish you could have known him. He was so complex. He could be a mystery and an open book all at the same time. He was so intense, so driven, and yet he was sweet and gentle. Being with him it was an adventure every day. He made me laugh. Oh, he could really make me laugh.
He sounds very special.
He was. There's no one like Luke. There never will be.
Well, then how could you marry Robert
So soon after Luke's death? Celia, if I tell you, you must promise not to tell anyone.
Of course.
I had to marry Robert, otherwise I would have been deported. I couldn't have stayed in this country.
Why were you going to be deported?
Because I couldn't get a green card.
Well, Robert's police commissioner. Surely he could have done something.
It's a little complicated.
Your wicked, wicked past, huh? Don't look so surprised, Ollie. You know what an inquisitive mind I have.
Don't I ever?
Actually, Uncle Edward mentioned something about the oil scam in a letter.
He would.
Whew. Boy, if Mrs. Whitmore could only see you now.
That woman was born to be the headmistress of a finishing school for
Yes, wasn't she a dragon, though? Oh, little Holly, what an exciting life you've led. You know, you must tell me all about it.
It really wasn't very exciting, and I'd rather forget about most of it.
Well, Uncle Edward wouldn't.
Neither would most of the people in Port Charles, either. I'm afraid if I wasn't married to Robert, I'd be rather a social outcast.
Not while I'm around, you won't be.
Speaking of which, how's your house hunting coming along?
Dreadful. All the houses are turning into one huge blur of wood and glass. Where did you live before you came here?
On a yacht that Robert and Luke owned, and before that at Kelly's. That's a diner on the waterfront.
A yacht and a diner. We must talk at length. You in a diner.
Actually, it was quite comfortable. Rose, who was the owner, she rented out rooms upstairs. As a matter of fact, Jimmy Lee has one of the rooms there.
Oh, really? A diner on the waterfront. Well, we must go to lunch there someday.
I don't think Rose serves martinis.
Well, that's all right. I might find some interesting subjects there. You know, I took up sculpture when I was in Paris. Such a challenge finding the right form. You know, that Jimmy Lee has some rather interesting lines.
Oh, does he?
Rather classical, I think.
Well, maybe you should ask him to model for you.
What a splendid idea. Maybe I will.
Oh, I imagine you probably will.
I really should get my camera.
Don't waste the film.
Seriously, this should be recorded. How our suave commissioner swings.
That's a terrible line.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope I didn't waken you.
No, we've been up for hours.
Oh, that makes me feel better. Robbie available?
Available?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's here, at least. Come in. Robbie! Constance Townley wants to know if you're available.
Well, if that includes kind of sweaty and a touch relieved, the answer is yes.
So that's how you preserve that gorgeous body, huh?
Drat. The secret is out.
Oh, don't be embarrassed. I'm not.
Well, I've almost got the hang of it.
I hate to break your routine.
Oh, he'll use any excuse.
Would you like to try it?
Some other time.
Can I get you something, coffee?
Oh, no thanks. Your husband's already offered me the use of his computer.
That's right. I did say come play, didn't I?
I'm surprised you made friends with it so quick. You used to resist modern gadgets.
Hey, you're looking at the computer kid. Isn't that right, Holly?
He's even teaching me to operate it.
She's a whiz. Shall we demonstrate?
Oh, that's all right. I am dealing with classified information.
And I do have other things to do, so excuse me.
Certainly.
Contrary to appearances, we are generally addressed at this hour.
I'm glad I caught you on an off day. Now, before I become totally distracted and forget why I am here, may I
May you what?
contact the WSB?
Oh, well, allow me.
I do know my way around that keyboard, Robbie.
I'll just warm it up for you.
If you insist.
I do. Right. Now, just humor me for a second or two here.
You're having me checked out.
Just finding out that you're who you say you are.
You rat. Feel better?
Slightly.
Hmm.
Aye, aye, sir.
You sneak.
No. You seem to have forgotten the very first lesson you learnt.
You wouldn't trust your own mother, would you?
They made me what I am, and the first lesson was you don't trust anybody.
I'm not anybody. We work together.
Yeah, but are you still reliable?
Of course I am.
Come on now. How many reliable agents have the KGB turned around?
I don't speak Russian, and I hate vodka. Now can I file?
Be my guest. And don't get mad. You'd have done exactly the same thing in my position.
You're right. I certainly would. Now, don't run away. It's in code.
And they've changed it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying about me?
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
Come on, give. I'd like to know what the gobbledygook is here.
Want to get a response from headquarters? In the meantime, can I use your gravity machine?
Withhold information.
That's what the big guy says.
And yet I'm expected to give you some.
I'm just following orders.
Okay, I'm yours.
There was a time when that was true. Oh, Townley, keep your mind on business.
And just what is your business?
I'm the one that's supposed to be asking the questions, remember?
So should.
Might take some time.
Well, let's sit down and be comfortable.
I've got another stop I have to make first. How about later?
How much later?
Oh, 2 o'clock. My hotel.
I'll be there.
Excuse me.
Connie was just leaving, love.
Oh, don't rush off. I'm meeting Bobby for lunch, so I'll see you later.
Look, I'll see you to the door. Excuse me. Look, I may be a little late getting back.
Fine.
Well, it's WSB stuff. I have to see Connie back at her hotel.
I figured you might.
It's not what you think.
Doesn't matter what I think.
Look, it is work.
You don't have to explain.
But look...
And you don't have to keep me posted on your every move. We have an agreement, remember?
Right.
No explanations or excuses. You can be with anyone, anytime you like, so just relax, would you?
Right.
Connie, nice seeing you again. Goodbye.
Give my best to Bobby.
I will, and, you have a good day.
Alone at last.
Run out of machines to play with.
I'd settle for you. But alas, duty calls. Oh, and do remember to put some clothes on before you come to the hotel. I'll loosen your tie once you get there.
2.
I'll be waiting.
Hope I'm not late.
Oh, I'm early.
Oh, Robert sends his regards.
Thank you. How's he doing?
Busy as a bee.
And you?
The lady of leisure, and rather enjoying it at the moment, actually. How are you?
I'm so-so.
So I can see you're not your usual chipper self.
I think what I've got is a case of the end of the winter blast. I get them every year, but this time I think I've got a particularly bad case.
Well, maybe a nice lunch will cheer you up. Do you want to order?
You know what I want? I want to go someplace real far away. I know this menu by heart.
Well, do you want to go somewhere else?
No, I mean someplace away, far away. I mean, just away from this town, away from work. Not for long, mind you. Just take a break.
Well, everyone deserves a break now and then.
Well, Holly, as a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why I asked you to have lunch with me. I was wondering if maybe you'd be interested in going with me.
You mean take a trip?
Bad idea.
No.
Forget it.
No, go on. What have you got in mind?
You mean you'd consider it?
That depends. I certainly have the time.
Well, a week. I mean, that's all I'm talking about. Just a week.
Well, where were you thinking of going?
I don't know. Someplace warm and someplace with a lot of men.
Well, I like the sound of the warm bit.
Are you really serious?
Yes, you can have the men. I'll chaperone.
You really would go away somewhere with me?
I think it's a marvelous idea.
I mean, you don't think Robert would mind? He's just running off like that, do you?
Oh, come on. You know more than anybody else that it's just a marriage of convenience. He wouldn't mind.
Oh, well, look who's here.
Oh,
hello there. What's the special?
We're too excited to eat.
Oh, what's up? Holly and I just decided that we are taking a trip.
Oh, great. Is Robert going to? No, he's got too much work.
Well, you'll be back in time for our wedding, I hope.
Sure, we're only planning on going away for a week.
Great. Well, speaking of plans, we better get over there while our lunch hour is still hot and decide who's who at this wedding, okay?
Yeah, and I think I better strike while the iron is hot.
Okay, do you want to order?
Oh, who can think of food? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go abroad?
Someplace, not Europe. Definitely not Europe. You know who would have a good idea? Robert.
Of course. Robert's been all over the world.
He'd know the perfect place for us to go.
Oh, Holly, talk to him about it tonight, okay?
Well, why don't I try and get him right now? He might still be at home.
Good idea. I will order us some wine.
Okay.
At this time of year?
Right away. Bobby's anxious to get going.
Well, there's no question. The Caribbean.
You think so?
Perfect. Of course, Hawaii would be great, but you need more time, or at least more than a week to do it justice.
Well, if you think the Caribbean's the place.
Look, you can't go wrong.
I knew you'd come up with something.
Well, of course, you've got a lot of islands there to choose from. They all have something to offer. It depends a lot on what you're looking for.
Well, just a little rest and relaxation.
You really ought to pick up a few brochures. I mean, there are so many. St. Croix, St. Thomas, Haiti, the Bahamas.
Well, we'll do that. And thank you, Robert. Bobby will be thrilled.
Good idea. Do you both some good.
You don't mind, then?
Why should I?
Well, it isn't as though I'm leaving you alone and stranded. I mean, you won't be bored. You do have some company.
If you're referring to Constance, she's headed back to Washington tomorrow. But don't worry, I've got plenty here to keep me busy. Listen, love, I've got a dash.
Right. Thanks for your help. To the Caribbean. And to Robert, who recommended it.
Hot sun, sandy beaches, I love it.
Now, all we have to do is figure out which island to go to.
Well, what are our choices?
Well, there's the Bahamas. I can't even remember half of the names that Robert suggested. He rattled them off so quickly.
I'm going to have to go get some new clothes.
Well, summer things should do.
Oh, what's a trip if you don't go out and get a whole bunch of new clothes?
True, very true. But we should travel fairly light because we might have to handle our own luggage.
Well, we can always recruit some helpers along the way.
Hey, I'm just the chaperone, remember?
Oh, Holly, I'm so glad that you agreed to go on this trip with me.
I'm delighted that you are.
And after lunch, I think we should stop by and see this travel agent that I know.
Good idea.
What are you planning here? A small war?
I'm ready for a skirmish or two, if you are.
No more questions?
A few. But first, a personal observation.
I've aged.
What's the expression? Not older, better. It's true, you know.
That's the observation?
Among others. But seriously, I mean, Istanbul, Paris, Athens even. Why Port Charles?
Why not Port Charles?
Do you really intend to end your days here?
I live to be 100 here. You saw my machine.
How on earth did you get stuck here?
I chose it. And as to how I got here, I'm sure that the WSB friends of yours filled you in.
The Cassadine caper, yes. That was a long time ago. You didn't have to stay.
Let's get back to business, shall we?
All right, Mr. Strong, silent, and sexy. Where were we?
We were talking about my town.
Right. Tell me, have you noticed anything strange going on?
Yeah, you mention it. Yeah, there's something that strikes me as a little odd.
What's that?
You turning up in Port Charles. Quite a coincidence, huh?
Not really. I asked for it. Will we never be alone? Yes.
Room service.
This interruption. I ordered. You can put it right over there. There you go.
Thank you.
And what's the occasion?
You. And me.
You mean us working together?
Well, whatever you want it to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome. A toast.
To old times.
To picking up where we left off.
Good wine.
Good company.
What comes next?
Do I really have to tell you?
Aruba. Oh, gorgeous. What about this beach at St. Croix?
Oh, son, I can just see us pop down there for a week.
Thanks, but I think I'll take the shade of a palm tree just to start.
Gosh, Holly, there are so many places here to choose from.
Well, if you're interested in gambling, there's the
Heck, I'm
Bahamas.
interested in everything. Take a look at this.
What is this?
A cruise.
That sounds like a good idea.
7 days, 7 nights, 7 ports of call.
Let me see. Look at this. You get a bit of everything.
Oh, Holly, this sounds wonderful.
There's even a casino on board. Not that I gamble.
Oh, come on. Not even a little blackjack or roulette.
No, I don't know how.
Well, I'll teach you.
Oh, come on. How are we going to enjoy the cruise if we lose all our money?
Now, that is exactly the wrong attitude. We are not going to lose. We are going to make a fortune.
How?
Well, girl, because with your brains and my luck, it's going to be a cinch.
Yeah, but I told you I don't know how to.
Well, you know how to count to 21, right?
Of course.
Okay, you know how to say hit me or stand, don't you? Well, that's all there is to it. Don't worry about it. I'll teach you the ropes, like, better yet, we'll let some of the gentlemen on board teach you.
Oh, men, I hadn't even thought about that.
Are you kidding? Men? There are gorgeous, eligible, interesting men crawling all over the cruise ships.
How am I going to tell them I'm married?
Holly, you've got to be kidding.
No, I mean, if they're a bachelor...
You're not going to say anything to anybody, are you?
Well, I can't lie.
Well, withholding information isn't lying. Besides, I don't think anybody will even bother to ask. And if they do, you just let me do the talking, okay? I'll just tell them that we are two women. We're out to have a good time. I mean, after all, that's the important thing, isn't it? To have fun.
And get a good tan.
Now you're talking.
Oh, I can just see it. Haiti, you said?
First stop.
Okay, jolly good.
Oh, jungle drums and crazed natives.
Voodoo child.
And men.
We've got to do this.
Let's agree then.
Okay, a cruise it is.
Let's go shopping this afternoon and get some bathing suits. Yes, definitely.
It's a good thing I'm not insecure.
I'm sorry, love.
Forget it. Feeling like the woman scorned has never been my style.
I know.
Problem?
Not yours.
You know, I've seen you in a lot of tight spots, Robbie. How are you going to get yourself out of this? Married.
You don't understand.
You're right. That shouldn't stop you. It hasn't stopped me, has it?
You flatter me.
That's not my style either. Plain and simple, I want you. Come on, what happened to the playboy of the Western world, huh?
Things change.
They don't have to.
Sometimes we can't control some things.
You have never been out of control in your entire life. Come on, can marriage do that to a guy?
That? Other things?
How long?
What?
How long have you been married?
Oh, almost 2 months.
For an intelligent woman, I'm pretty stupid.
What are you talking about?
My timing was off. No wonder you didn't respond to me. I moved too fast, too soon. In 2 or 3 months, you'll come around. Come on, let's kill the bottle.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. I'm on an expense account.
Yeah, but the wine, but not for the,
If you say for being a good sport, I'm going to deck you.
doing? What am I not doing?
Back here.
Working again, I see.
Shopping again, I see.
Somebody has to spend all your money.
Ah,
I hope you can drag yourself away from that. Remember we had dinner with Celia and Grant tonight?
give me half an hour for a shower and a change.
Yeah. Something for tonight.
Valium?
A new tie can go perfect with your Harris tweed.
Ah. Wunderbar.
Thought you'd like it.
Excuse me. Scorpio.
I've got to see you.
Oh, look, love, we've been over that. Let's just stick to the original arrangement, huh?
No, you don't understand. This is business. I can give you the details now.
You have HQ's permission?
Just got it from WD-11. Not only are they allowing me to fill you in, they're asking for your help.
When can you get here?
Half hour?
See you then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm off to change. Connie's coming over.
What's up?
Business. Hope you don't mind.
Back, Connie coming over? Of course not. Whatever you want to do is fine with me, just as long as we're honest with each other. And I realize that you and Connie share a lot of memories, so if you want me to leave...
That's not necessary. It is, after all, just business, and... Well, as for the memories, they're old and half forgotten.
If you say so.
Well, I've got work to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs and get changed anyway. And Robert, those memories might be old and half forgotten to you, but they probably still mean a lot to Connie, huh? Remember that.
I will.
Well, don't you look especially handsome. Going out?
Dinner engagement. Holly's upstairs dressing.
Then we have some time alone. Good.
Connie, look, I want to explain about what happened, or rather what didn't happen at your hotel the other day. I feel I should apologize for it.
Robbie, it's not necessary. Why don't we get right down to business? Okay, if we use the computer, I'd like you to see this. Thank you.
What's that?
Top secret code. Gives us access to the file.
We're obviously talking about heavy material here.
We have reason to believe it is very big. But at this point, we don't know who or what we're up against. The Big Four, I call them. Boston, L.A., Topeka, and Port Charles. At this point, the only thing we can be certain of is that they're connected somehow. And that foreign agents are interested.
So where do I fit in?
Well, the fourth city, Port Charles, of course. And you're here. You know the area, the system, people.
All right, what else can you tell me?
Just that in the last few months, we've intercepted dozens of foreign communications that continually mention those four cities.
So the main interest is in the connection, huh?
Mm-hmm. The whats, the whos, the wheres, all of it. And we need an on-site contact. How about it?
I'll think about it.
WSB doesn't like waiting.
I know. I used to work for them once, remember?
All too well.
Sorry to interrupt, Robert. We really should be leaving.
Right.
I'll be in touch.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Robert, I do hope that you'll consider it.
I'll think about it.
It was good seeing you again, Holly.
Yes, we'll get together again soon.
That all depends on your husband. Take care, Robbie.
They, want you to work for them again, huh? Luke told me how much you used to enjoy working for the WSB, how exciting it was.
Yeah, well, Luke provided a little of that excitement.
Do you think Luke would have made a good agent?
Almost as good as me. I must get my jacket, excuse me.
Luke would have been good at anything.
What?
Nothing.
Good to see you again, Commissioner. And Mrs. Scorpio, always a pleasure. This way, please.
Thank you.
This table's all right?
Fine.
Your waiter will be with you in just a second.
Thank you.
Tell me, what does the WSB want with Port Charles?
Well, they're looking for a connection between 4 cities. Topeka, Los Angeles, Boston, and Port Charles.
What kind of a connection?
Anything of interest to enemy operatives in foreign countries.
No, don't get up.
Sorry we're
Thank
late.
you.
We parked up the block, and Celia just had to stop in one of the shops.
Oh, I found this most marvelous outfit. It's a gorgeous chiffon number. What it's doing in this town, I'll never know.
If only I'd parked closer to the restaurant. Think of the money I could have saved.
Oh, there he goes again, worrying about money.
Not worried, darling, just concerned.
Well, I thought I'd let you select the wine, Grant.
Oh, no, don't be silly. He doesn't know a thing about it. Now, let's see here. Ah, Mersal, yes. And a lovely year. Number 12, Robert.
Thank you. Waiter. The Massal number 12, thank you.
Yes, sir. Robert and I were wondering if you've set the date yet.
Well, not the exact date, but we're working on it. All we talk about, isn't it, darling?
Yes.
Did you two have a large wedding?
No, just a few friends at the mayor's office.
Yeah, my fault, actually. The police commissioner's job sort of caught me on the hop, and I hardly had room to breathe.
Did it really matter? After all, what's important is being happy, in love, convinced that it's the right thing.
Oh, I can't think of any better reasons.
Yeah, and I can't think of a better example than you two. I just hope that Celia and I can be half as happy as the two of you obviously are.
To the future bride and groom.
A long and happy life together.
Shall I order another bottle of wine?
A marvelous idea.
I think that marriage is basically just a symbol of love. Oh, sure, it represents the unity of 2 lives, but it's also a symbolic gesture. All of it. The rings, the service, the vows, go beyond just the surface. I think that nowadays too many people think of marriage as just an excuse to have a party.
Well, not a bad reason.
And just look at the divorce rate. There's no commitment.
Waiter, may I have another bottle of wine, please?
I want my marriage to be as perfect as yours and Robert's is, Holly.
That's very nice.
And we couldn't agree with you more.
Well, then, let me propose a toast with what's left of our wine to Holly and Robert. A long and happy life together.
Why? Well, I mean, what else could I do? Celia looks so uncomfortable.
She did. Yeah, she did, didn't she?
Holly, I'd like to apologize for the hand-kissing and the act in general.
Oh, I understand. I mean, we have to keep up appearances.
I mean, if he hadn't been so insistent on the sanctity of marriage, well, well, I never would have done it.
Oh, I know that.
Look, Holly,
What?
well, you weren't too uncomfortable, were you?
Oh, no, I just wish he hadn't asked so many questions.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, I've done something, and I feel I should get it over with right now. For some time, I've felt that you should have a ring. I actually bought this a while back. But after tonight, well, I realized that you'll probably realize it's just, well, for appearance's sake.
Thanks, Rob.
Sure. Well, I guess I should go in and check my messages and start on this WSB business.
Right.
Good night, then.
Good night.
Chance, you got to hold on to romance.